Training for failure. So I think it's important when you're moving in your art, whether you're shadow boxing or whatever it is you're working on your own time and space, that you get adjusted and accustomed to this idea that your trick, your thing, your technique might fail. Probably is going to fail on a long enough timeline. It's inevitable. Part of what martial art does, it doesn't just teach us to fight, it teaches us to overcome and persevere through that failure. We don't have to be lofty about that. It's just undeniably true. You keep going until you get it right. But the amount of times you get it wrong helps you to realize that you got to have a backup plan. You got to have a contingency plan. You have to get used to adapting when things don't go your way. Sometimes that means fighting a different fight or changing up your strategy or drawing from a different art. Sometimes it simply means, whoa, I thought I was going to go this way and I didn't, so I have to be able to pick up or catch that momentum and to continue through, because failure doesn't mean the fight's over. It just means you got to do the next thing instead. So if we look at a basic idea that I'm going to hit vertical, get this guy on the top of the head, then I'm going to hit him another position. Well, a lot of times this vertical shot, everybody learns some sort of overhead protection, whether it's a roof block or some sort of umbrella shape that goes over the head, or it fills the line in the middle, what have you. It's very common that this is going to get deflected. With that tip oriented more on the left, if I'm receiving a vertical shot and I defend overhead, it's perhaps likely that I'm going to discard it this direction, maybe even as I move. Well, on the receiving end of that direction where it gets discarded after the defense or deflection is to my right. Stick is in my right hand. They defend overhead and knock it down here. So instead of always drilling this as a nice clean technique or whatever where this is landed, oh yeah, it's just ripping right through them like a hot knife through butter, probably it's going to get disrupted and going to wind up in a position that I didn't intend it to. It could be across the room. Right now it's just going to be here. Good, at least we still have it. Well, when they defend, sure enough, you know they're going to fill that line with something. They're not going to wait for us to do it. So if I was defending that overhead shot and we're here, so long as there's not a crashing component to this, it's more likely that that shot will come forehand or vertical in some way because of the orientation of the body. They're over here on me, they're going to hit from this side most likely. So that means when this is defended and it's knocked down to my right, I've got action that's going to come from this space. Not all the time, but quite likely it will. So that's what we'll look at, getting accustomed to coming here and realizing, uh-oh, I'm in a tip down position and I have a shot coming about as far away from my weapon as possible up here towards my head. So my solution is going to have to be to move rather quickly with some urgency and intention, and we'll just rip that one right up. So having gone vertical and been discarded on their defense, this is now low. I'm going to bring my weight back a little bit as I pivot that front foot so that I can pull and lift the stick up that way, ripping through. One, and it's discarded, right? So this is just a vertical shot, but I let it kind of, instead of going clean through, it comes here and then it shoots out to the side. One and down. Whoa, like that. So I have to get used to picking that back up. One and two. One and two. So what we'll do, again, pull the tip of the stick through the center on a narrow diagonal. Great if this clips them under the chin. In the body, hits the hand. Remember we said their attack is probably coming somewhere in this position. So as that weapon comes towards me, this motion may also serve very well to clear their next incoming shot. Remember with Kali, we have to always be thinking in multiple planes or in multiple directions. It's not just I'm hitting you, it's if I don't have access to you, am I at least defending your incoming shot? We have to do two things at once. So one and two. Again, they've gone one and two, and when we fill that line, we hope it knocks them away. They defended us, so we defend them. And again, if we hit them in the chin, all the better. Last shot is going to be just to rip that through the middle. Because they're here, one, this gets thrown away. Two, whoa, we got to fill that space to do something. But now we're back in the game, so I'm going to drop this foot out of there and rip that backhand vertical through the line. So without any footwork, it's just one and two, three, like that. One and two, three. One and, because they moved it. Rip it and rip it again, like that. And you finish whatever position you want, doesn't matter. Good. Now with the footwork, I'm up, but this got discarded. So I gotta adjust my body a little bit to catch that, right? I don't wanna just come here, I'm gonna literally lose it out of my hand. So when it moves here, I'm gonna sync with it so that it's not drop below where I want it, it's still where I am. Now when I pivot this front foot, it's because I'm moving my weight towards the back foot. That's what allows me to lift this up with some urgency, boom, right through. So again, I say rip for that reason. This last one is just wheel through backhand redondo or whatever you might call it. Bang, like this. You could stop it here, but really if you're implying that they defended it, we want this one to be that we've sectored on them. So we're gonna let that one rip as well. So 1 and 2. You could stay here, but we know they're moving in this general direction. We've already established that for the sake of this combination. 1, 2. So what I suggest is pivoting a little bit on this lead foot. For me, this is my right foot, meaning I'm gonna section off here just a little bit. Just split that and cut. Again, 1 and 2 and 3. Now I can move, go on again. From this side, 1 and 2 and 3. From the side, 1 and 2 and 3. So that's your vertical, low to high, and a backhand vertical. But training yourself to catch momentum when it goes the way that you don't like the stick to move. If you get used to moving and fighting or whatever, training from positions that you don't like, then when they happen, you'll be a little more accustomed to that. Doesn't mean it's your preference, doesn't mean it's the best technique in the world or whatever, but it means you're getting better by thinking outside the box.